Yo, what's good everyone? Welcome back to ACS Sneakers. My name is Aiden. On today's video, we are going to be taking a look at the Jordan 3 in the Japanese Denim colourway. Before I get into that, I just want to say a huge thank you to my returning viewers. Thank you once again for continuing to support me. And for any new viewers to the channel, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel, hitting that bell notification. We do release brand new content each and every week. And without any further ado, let's go ahead and get into the intro. So before we do go any further, I did actually just want to initially apologise to you guys that have been waiting for this video. As you'll know, I've had this shoe since release, but I've actually been holding off doing this video simply because I was waiting for this t-shirt to arrive from kicks.com, and we did also have some issues with the shoe itself, which I will get into later on in the video. So I just want to say a huge thank you for you guys for your patience. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get into my review. Releasing on August 8th for a retail price of £165, the Jordan 3 in the Japanese Denim colourway is the latest release on the co.jp lineup. Now, we recently took a look at the Jordan 1 in the Tokyo, Japan colourway, as well as the Nike Dunk Low in the Samba Blue colourway. If you do want to check out either of my reviews, I will leave a link above. Now, I personally believe that these releases were all scheduled to be released alongside the 2020 Olympics, but unfortunately, the Olympics has been pushed back due to COVID-19, but fortunately for us, we do still get these pretty exciting releases. So let's go ahead and take a look at the box. And here we go guys, I now have the box in hand, and immediately, this does bear lots of resemblances to that of the Jordan 3 Red Cement. Now, for me, the way that the box is structured is really nice. We have 3/4 of the box in white with the red Jumpman branding in the centre of the white rather than in the centre of the box itself. And on the final quarter of the box itself, we have that Japanese-inspired elephant print. Now, I actually covered it on my previous review of the Nike Dunk Low in the Samba Blue colourway, that I really like it when the colourway of the shoe matches the shoebox. It's only a very small detail, but for me, it definitely adds a lot of value. If we take a quick look at the label on the box, which reads Air Jordan 3 Retro SE, which stands for Special Edition, in the white, fire red, black colourway. Now, inside the box, we actually get that Japanese-inspired elephant print on the tissue paper. Oh, keep that open. And here is our very first look at the shoe itself. So let's go ahead and get into my review. Starting off around the toe box area, here we have that Japanese-inspired denim elephant print. Now, I'm not entirely sure if you can see this on camera, but this has actually been lightly embroidered, and I really do like how this looks and feels in person. We've covered a few Jordan 3s on this channel previously, and I have said that whenever they do change the elephant print, it is super important to make sure that it either matches up to previous models or is better than previous models. And to be completely honest, I really do like how this looks and feels on the shoe. For me, it definitely adds a more premium feel to the shoe, and this Japanese denim can actually be seen on the eyelets of the shoe as well as around the heel. Just above the elephant print itself, you can see that we have this completely white tumbled leather that can actually be seen throughout the midfoot of the shoe as well. If we take a quick look at the toe box of the shoe, they have actually used the same tumbled leather on the toe box area. Now, you may actually notice that there is a pretty defining crease on this particular shoe, and I was really disheartened to see this, getting this out of the box for the very first time. For anyone who's been around the channel for a while, you know how important it is to me to make sure that there's no creases on the toe box of my shoes. So when I actually got this out of the box, it almost felt like this was a worn pair rather than completely dead stock. As I bought it from S&S, I was really upset. So what I did is I contacted S&S. Fortunately for me, they had a really good customer service team who helped me get to the bottom of the issue and, you know, pretty much resolve the issue there and then. So huge shout out to S&S's customer service team. That being said, the shoe is still creased, so I am just going to wear this pretty much every day as an everyday beater. It's a super nice shoe in my opinion, and the crease isn't off-putting enough for me to not wear it completely. I will still be using a Sneaker Shield crease protector just to limit any additional creasing to the toe box area, and I would highly recommend that you do so as well. If you do use my code ACS Sneakers 15 at checkout, you will receive an additional 15% discount. If we now take a quick look at the upper of the shoe, we continue to see that same tumbled leather throughout. Taking a look at the midsole of the shoe, we have a primarily white midsole with the translucent air unit towards the back. And to the outsole of the shoe, we have a primarily white outsole with a hit of colour on the red Nike branding. If you guys haven't already, please go ahead and smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification so you never miss a video. Let's get back into it. If we now take a quick look at the laces on the shoe, which are completely white, towards the bottom of the laces, you can see that we have these red lace holders, and as we gradually move up the laces, we start to see that Japanese-inspired elephant print once again on the lace holders. Now, the laces do sit atop a leather perforated tongue, and if we take a quick look at the tongue itself, here we have a completely leather tongue with the red Jumpman branding in the centre. Now, these tongues actually do differ from prior Jordan 3 models in the way that the reverse of the tongue used to actually pop up just slightly above the leather, just so you could see the reverse of the tongue ever so slightly. Now, with these, it actually is the opposite way around, where that the leather slightly just goes over the actual reverse of the tongue itself, so you can no longer see that red nylon material on the reverse of the tongue itself. For me, doesn't really make much of a difference. I don't really care one way or the other if you can or can't see the actual back of the tongue, but I know for a lot of the OG heads, it is a little bit of a small issue for them as well, but for me, it doesn't really make much of a difference. And if we now take a quick look around the ankle collar of the shoe itself, you can see that we have this perforated leather material. This for me does add a huge pop of colour contrast. As the shoe is primarily white with those little hints of elephant print, having this pop of red makes a big difference for me personally. And if we now take a quick look at the sock line of the shoe, which is in this complete black, this is super soft underhand. I'm not sure if it's any softer than the previous Jordan 3 models, but for me, it does have a much more premium feel underhand for me personally. Now, I've already said in previous reviews, I really like the Jordan 3, how it almost wraps around and gives you that extra personalized fit in my opinion. I think it's an extremely comfortable shoe and I'm really impressed with the padding on this particular colourway. Taking a quick look now at the insole of the shoe, which is completely white and features that red Nike Air branding. And now to finish, taking a look at my favourite area of the shoe personally. Here we have the completely translucent heel tab with the red Nike Air branding in the centre, with the translucent Jumpman just above the Nike Air branding. Now, this particular release is very similar to that of the Jordan 3 Red Cement in the way that when the Jordan 3 Red Cement initially released, it had two different variations, one with the Nike Air branding on the heel tab and the other featuring Nike Shy. We actually have two variations on this particular colourway as well, where the actual heel tab of the shoe features the Japanese text, of course, as it is that Japanese exclusive release. Now for me, I really do like how this looks. It definitely adds a more exclusive look and feel to the shoe, and I'll definitely be looking to add it alongside this one in my collection. It is only a very small detail, but I do feel like these small details definitely add up to a lot in my opinion, and when you do have an exclusive shoe like that in your collection, for me, it is just a lot more impressive. So now that pretty much wraps up the overview of the shoe itself, so now let's go ahead and get into my opinions on the shoe. And now moving over to the most important aspect of any sneaker, and that would be the sneaker's comfortability. For me, the Jordan 3 is an extremely comfortable sneaker right out the box and it doesn't require any breaking in time. In terms of durability, I have found the Jordan 3 to be an exceptionally durable shoe and it has held up very well for me personally. In terms of sizing, I always recommend going true to size as I do feel that that will be the best reflection on you personally. If you are anything like me and live in a very small city, perhaps Jordan 3s don't regularly sit around at your retail shops like Foot Locker and JD and things like that. It might be difficult to get your hands on a pair to try out before buying, so if that is the case, I would highly recommend, as I say, going true to size. And in terms of my overall opinion on the shoe itself, I do give the Jordan 3 Japanese Denim a solid 7 out of 10. The only reason I haven't given it a slightly higher grade is simply because it is an all-white sneaker, which for me means I can only wear it during very specific times of year, such as spring or summer. This isn't going to be a shoe that you can wear all year round and in all settings. Now, for anyone who's new to the channel, the way I tier the actual ratings for the shoes comes down to a couple of key factors, such as comfortability, wearability, and durability. And as far as wearability goes, as I've covered, you can only wear it for very select times of year. It definitely has to bring it down a few notches for me personally. But I'd love to know what you guys think on this particular colourway as well, so drop me a comment in the comment section below, and let's go ahead and take another look at the shoe in more detail. I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone who stuck around to this point in the video. Please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel, hitting that bell notification, and I hope to see you again in the next one.